Okay, so we're just gonna do a quick talk about the changes, primarily for the Tyranids, because or like rules change and stuff like that, and then go over a little bit of the points. We'll see. And then we'll talk a little about the Adeptus Sororitas, which is where my sadness comes in, but it's an expected sadness. Now, Tyranids, oh my god, their Synapse rule. From what we know, their addition, ow, I just hurt my forehead a little bit too much. Ow, hold on. Ow, 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 ow. Anyways, so, all the same rules apply with the Synapse. However, it's also, which means, within, Tyranids within Synapse, it's 3d6 for Battle Shock tests instead of 2. However, for melee, they get a +1 strength while they're within Synapse, which is amazing. Oh, they can finally actually properly kill things. Like Ptarmigans. Their strength is only toughness 4. And if they ever go up against like measly the smaller marines and such, they'll be fine. They can take them out. I don't know about much of the data slates and stuff because I don't know. Well, I do know, like, against Adeptus Sororitas, because their toughness is only, like, 3, they'll have strength 4, so they'll be able to do anything. Hormagaunts, which is probably what I'm going to end up buying to take the place of Termagants, because the Termagants aren't all that great anymore. Hormagaunts, because, their strength will go up to 4. Because if we go ahead and go up to, new recruit, so if we find our Hormagaunts, their strength is only 3 on their talons, but they go up to 4. That's amazing. Against a lot of Marines, Infernus Marines, for example, their toughness is 4, so we'll be hitting on 4s now, which is great. Unless they're battle shocked, then +1 wounds thanks to maybe the Neurolictors, if ever I put them in, which probably will, and I more than likely do that. Adeptus Sororitas. Most of their toughness is literally 3s. Superior Celestine, toughness 3. Canoness, toughness 3. Battle Sisters, toughness 3. Acros, toughness 3. The only thing that's really not toughness 3 within the Adeptus Sororitas, because they're not powerhouse units. They are squishy units with they are moderate. They are, because the Adeptus Sororitas are moderate units with insane rules. Like the Exorcist, their vehicles are the only stuff that's above toughness 3, which actually most of it's something. It's definitely something. The points are all gonna get updated at some point. Hello, ladies. So that's fantastic. Crush the Stampede, it got some buffs. It got some great. Full wound, now now they gain 2 OC, which is great. Ferocity Stratagem. I haven't read much of it, so I can't really give my personal thoughts on it because I haven't really played Monster Mash, because I really only have like 2 monsters in my entire army right now because I don't have a lot of Tyranid units. I do plan on getting more. The Hive Tyrant Onslaught ability. This is the Foot Tyrant. Not only will they get assault, but they get lethal as well. It makes me really want to go ahead and grab one of them too. Neurolictor, they gain the Synapse. In all honesty, in truth, okay. To me, it's great, but I'm trying to think, was it necessary to add Synapse to the Neurolictor? Because they already had a bunch of rules and abilities attached to them. And we're already going into a lot of, into the fray with a lot of other stuff. So I'm wondering if that was in fact necessary. So that's questionable to me. I'm not gonna argue against it. I'm just questionable if it was needed. Nero Tyrant. They can now lead Zoanthropes. Which will be great! Most people probably only end up running like maybe 3 Zoanthropes attached to a Nero Tyrant. And now we have an even bit more of a reason to run the Nero Tyrant because Nero Tyrant adds +1 to the hit with their attached units. So attached units, they get a +1 to hit. So, and Zoanthropes, they hit on 3s with all their stuff anyways. Yeah, they hit on 3s. They already hit on 3s. Their melee, it's whatever. Their melee's whatever. Because they're not a unit that goes into melee a lot. So, but now being attached to the Nero Tyrant, they now hit on 2s, which is so much better. But yeah, again, I don't know if they'll. I don't think people would end up getting like a full unit of 6 on the Nero Tyrant. Maybe because that ends up being the case. Point wise, Nero. Yeah, I don't think they went up. Yeah, no, they did not go up. So that's a 305 point unit. Yeah, that's a 305 point unit for 4 models. That's a lot of points for 1 unit. I mean, it's not the most probably people would do. However, it would mean I wouldn't have to actually attach the Tyrant Guard to the Nero Tyrant, because what I have been doing was attaching the Tyrant Guard to the Nero Tyrant and then shoving it right on their faces, which, in all honesty, I actually don't mind. Okay, also, another one of the rules was the Shadow of the Warp. I completely passed that. Same thing that's happening. However, an additional bonus is if those units are in Synapse, if your enemy unit is within Synapse, essentially 6 inches of a unit that has Synapse keyword, because clarification has to have the Synapse keyword. Because, like before something that happened, Broodlord and Parasite Mortrix now have Shadow of the Warp and Synapse. It was weird that they didn't have the Shadow in the Warp anyways. Synapse may be understandable. But beforehand, they didn't have Synapse. And if you were running Invasion and you attached nope, not what I meant. No. What's going on, honey? Huh? Not sure what's going on there, but anyways, if you attached Synaptic Linchpin, this enhancement did not give your unit the Synapse keyword. It just stated that units within 9 inches are treated as within Synapse. It did not give him the Synapse keyword. So if the Broodlord did not get the Synapse keyword and you plop this onto him or the Mortrix, whichever you choose, they would have ended up being. They would have not triggered the -1 for Shadow of the Warp. So take that with a grain of salt. But now I think most of the units, aside from I think most of the units now have the synapse, I think, except for old One Eye. But epic characters are not able to get those, so now that whole point is kind of mute. I have watched a couple of people play games using the rule misreading this, because it says each time an enemy unit takes such a battle shock test, which means it's reporting to the Shadow of the Warp, it's the -1. I've seen some people playing as if misreading it as if they just get a -1 when they're in Synapse. It's like, no, I don't think that's the case. Now, I'm pretty sure it runs it that it's only for Shadow of the Warp, but GW could FAQ that, saying, yeah, they will still get the -1. So, though I'm pretty sure it's the latter, or the former. It's only for Shadow of the Warp. But anyways, Broodlord Parasite now gets Shadow of the Warp and Synapse, which is great. Malok, Ravener's Trigon, get the Vanguard Invader keyword. And that's insane. So if we go to this. So it's great because Vanguard has a stratagem that pulls Vanguard units off the battlefield and into strategic, I think it is. Let me double check that. But yeah, and a good combo with that is the Malok. They did do some changes with the mortal wounds. Now it's dev wounds. Now dev wounds are actually mortal wounds, which is awesome. So now defenses against mortal wounds are now back into effect. They don't spill over, so essentially if a unit takes 2 mortal wounds from one attack, they do not spill over like they used to. Now it's just, okay, so if that unit's going to take 2 mortal wounds, and fails, and it's only a one wound unit, and only has 1 wound left, it fails one of those, like any form of saves, takes 2 mortal wounds, that second mortal wound does not spill over. So there's that. However, grenades still in effect. Yeah, grenades still in effect. Tank shock still in effect. Stuff like that. This Malok Tower has an ability that basically, when it pops up, they have to, where is it at? Each time this unit is sent on the battlefield, each strike roll 1d6, 12 into the model, 2 to 4 that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. And on a 5, that unit suffers 3 mortal wounds and must take a battle shock test. That's a double checking. Oh, another big change with tank shock now goes off of the vehicle's toughness. They did not allow us to use tank shock for monsters. Very sad. On mortal wounds and devastating wounds, we have already made a change to how devastating wounds work. With the issue, we were trying to remedy any excess damage was having too dominant an effect. This damage had an unintended consequence of rendering certain defense abilities much less useful than they should. Where mortal wounds specifically do not spill over when they originate from devastating wounds attacks. So, okay. It's just from devastating wounds does it not spill over. Regular mortal wounds still spills over. If I'm reading that correctly. I may be wrong. Let me know. So, the Malok, D3 mortal wounds. So devastating wounds, they are mortal wounds, but they don't spill over. Regular mortal wounds, I think they still spill over. So D3 mortal wounds, great. Oh yeah, I was still checking out something. Stratagems. Oh, that's the wrong. No. Vanguard. Stratagems. Surprise assault. Nope. Not surprise. That's not surprise assault. The unseen lurkers. They did make a big change where if a stratagem, not loan up, which again some people have misread, saying okay now they specifically target loan up. Stratagems are that allows units to not be targeted within 12 inches now have changed to 18 inches. Did not specifically target loan up in the slightest. Loan up is still 12 inches. It is not 18. Where did it go? And 9 inches to the enemy unit. Oh. Here we are. Yes, Invisible Hunter, up to 2 Vanguard Invader units from your army, or 1 Tyranid's infantry unit from your army. Okay, so there's that. Remove the target units from the battlefield and place them into strategic reserves. The targeted units must be more than 3 inches away from all enemy units. Attach that, give that on 2 Morlocks. Boom! Just like pop up, pop back down, pop up, pop back down. But the caveat is must be at the end of your opponent's fight phase. So at the end of the opponent's fight phase, basically roughly at the end of their turn, bring up some Morlocks, and then at your turn, bring them back down. So boom. I'm going to bomb everybody with Morlocks. It seems Vanguard Invaders is going to be the next best units, because Unending Swarm got a big hit due to rule changes, stratagem changes, such as the create a new unit. The unfortunate thing is it now only happens once per battle, and you can't just target him like that again. So essentially, like what the guard and Unending Swarm was, when a unit is destroyed, spend a CP to hit them. Well, I can't remember the name of the stratagem specifically, but essentially it creates a whole new unit and puts it into reserves. Now, don't remember if it's strategic or I don't remember if it's strategic or regular reserves. Okay, here we go. Unending Storm, stratagems, Unending Wave. Any phase, one endless multitude unit from your army that was just destroyed. You can use the stratagem on that unit. Add a new unit to your army identical to your destroyed unit in strategic reserves at its starting strength. Yep. So it is now only going to be a once per battle thing. So Guard got hit with that. Unending Swarm got hit with that, and Unending Swarm is pretty much going to start failing at that point. It really got hit. So Unending Swarm is now, I think it's pretty much it could still be good. It could still be good. However, it's not nowhere near as good as it once was. But it was good once as it ever was. We still got more to talk about. Much more to talk about. So yeah, they gained the Vanguard keyboard, and now the Exocrine and Tyranid effects get weapons updates. So the Exocrine's range weapon strength goes from 8 to 9, if I recall correctly. Because yeah, actually I can just look it up here. Yeah, if I recall correctly, the Exocrine's weapon is a strength 8. Yep, strength 8. So we went from 8 to 9. So that is already fantastic. It can now start dealing with the lower end vehicle units a little bit better, a little bit easier. A lot of elite units, just start wiping them out. That's fantastic. The Tyranid effects, the weapon went the damage, it's a rupture cannon it was originally, Rupture Cannon. It was originally just a standard 2d6 damage, so very Russian roulette. Or something like that. Very, very, very unlucky based. And now it is d6 plus 6. So the minimum we could ever get with that is a 7. 7 damage, and now it can do what it was meant to do. And that's destroy vehicles. Oh, that is great. So yeah, Tyranid's got a really big boost. A really big boost. The Foot Tyrant giving a lethals now, not just assault. That's fantastic. The whole Synapse aura effect updated. That's awesome. The Shadow of the Warp got updated. It's a little bit better, but now you have to get units into essentially pretty much right into melee with them for it to officially be effective. So another unit that I think really got a bonus thanks to the Shadow of the Warp ability is where are they at? Tyranid Warriors, because they themselves have the Synapse keywords in them. So you can now just throw them right on in, and so they automatically go from strength 5 to strength 6. They are wrecking faces now. And then attached, and they have 6 attacks hitting on 3s. Strength. They are now technically strength 6 with twin linked. Attach the winged prime to them, and they get sustained. So throw them at a vehicle. Guess what? Hey, vehicle, sir. You're gonna get hit with a lot of sustained. Maybe even be a lot wounded. A lot easier too. That is great. Now, I could go on start talking about a lot of the other unit stuff. I just primarily wanted to focus on Tyranids. Adeptus Sororitas, brand new army, so nothing happened to them. Adeptus Custodes got an update, great. Adeptus Mechanicus got a massive update, which is insane. Good on them. I barely know ya. Everything else got some updates. Everything else got some buffs. Knights got a little bit better because now they can actually technically just Kool-Aid Man through walls, through ruins. Though they would have to roll a d6 to see if they're battle shocked. Everything else, Gene Steel Cults got nothing because the brand new codex. Adeptosaurus, nothing. Necrons, Thousand Suns got hit a bit. But I think for the better. Space Wolves got changed drastically as well. World Eaters, barely know ya. A lot of other good stuff. So there's all that. Now let's talk points. Tyranids. I'm both happy and confused. Nothing's changed except like a few models. Pyrovores went down, understandable, because now the spore mines that they produce, they're useless almost. They can move, block, maybe get behind enemy lines, stuff like that. But we'll probably still see at least one of them in the list. However, I don't know much else about what we're going to be getting. Neurolictor went up, understandable, thanks to the Synapse keyword, though I'm not sure if that was necessary. They went from 70 points up to 90 apparently, because they're good. I don't know if people are going to be running 2 of them now. They might still because of how good they are. At least I think they're pretty good. Reaper Swarms are the most confusing points change. They went up. I figured that they were going to go down 5 points. It went up 5 for one model. 2 models stayed the same, but 3 models went down 10. What? That's confusing. I have no idea what's going on there. River Swarms, you're confusing me. Turbigon. Turbigon went down from 190 to 175. Turbigon went down 15 points. Still not sure if it's playable. Because now we have another unit. Because now Turbigon, as good as you are, Termagants, no, they're not as good as they once were. and the Foot Tyrant now gives lethal anyways. So yeah. Other than that, no other real changes to anything. Understandable because they want to see where things go with the whole change. So I'm just like, I'm happy, slightly confused, but at the same time, we're just going to see how things are in the next 3 months. Now, Adeptus Sororitas. Note, these points are updates from the Codex, not the Index. Because the Arcoflagellants, flagellants, however you pronounce that last word, they're actually 50 points for 3 models and 160 for 10. They actually went down 5 for 3 models and down 10 for 10 models. I don't know the whole statistics and percentages and stuff like that. So yeah, that's where I understood. It's like, okay, this must be from the Codex. But that's a lot of red. Understandable. I'm sad about it. I was like, that's a lot of red I see. I'm sad about it. We'll just have to see where things go. But yet at the same time, okay, yeah, I'm sad about it, but yet I understand. Because apparently the Codex is insanely good. Probably some of the people are saying it's like one of the best codexes they've actually came out with. I'm just, they said that about the Orc Codex. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's changed, a lot of new stuff that's happened. Yeah. Oh yeah, another thing that added, the movement. Now, if you are not on if you do not have a base, or if you are do not have a circle base instead of if you have a oval base, essentially not a regular 360 circle, and it's a little bit awkwardly shaped, or no base at all, it's a 2-inch move to pivot. But just the once. And then after you pivot, that's it. You can basically move it forward, pivot again, move it forward, pivot again. That's it. You just had to do it the once, which is amazing. Yeah, we made a little bit of that increased cost. Stratums. They also, for things that gave a free stratum for 0 CP, such as the Winged Hive Tyrant or Tyrants in general. Will of Hive Mind. Once per turn, one friendly tyrant within 12 inches of one or more models with this ability could be targeted with stratum for 0 CP. It's now changed to it's no longer strictly targeting only battle tactic stratagems. You can now target it with any stratagem. However, instead of being 0 CP, it's minus 1 CP. So I feel like that's actually a lot better clarification than this one, 0 CP, because apparently, like, if you got upped through another ability we'll actually talk about real quick, such as the Swarm Lords Vect is what they essentially call it. What is that? Yeah, a malign presence, which is essentially a Vect. If a unit uses a stratagem, you can target that stratagem with to increase it by 1 CP for the rest of the game. Now, if with your something like that. Apparently, instead of being 0 CP, it's now 1 CP. So, like, if you tried and used a command reroll, instead of it being of 0 CP, it was a 1 CP because it got upped. So it was a bit confusing there, but now that's better. That's a better clarification. However, now that ability that these the Foot Tyrant, the Foot Foot and Wing Tyrant have for this ability. It's now, instead of being targeting battle tactics only, it's any stratagem for -1 CP, but it has to be, again, the whole 12-inch. But it cannot, but it does lose the last effect here. It is now, it no longer can be, you can no longer use the stratagem again. So essentially it's, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and make that stratagem cost -1 CP for now. Boom. So they do lose the, even if another unit from your army has already targeted the stratagem for this phase. So basically you cannot target command reroll this phase on that guy, and in the same phase do free CP, do it again. And you can't do that. At least from what I'm understanding. Now, another big change, stuff like the Vect has units Vect has gotten changed. It is no longer that unit. Okay, so that stratagem is now increased by 1 CP for the rest of the game. It is now essentially an aura, a 12-inch aura. Whenever a unit gets targeted with the CP, targeted with the stratagem, enemies units, it gets targeted with the stratagem while they're within that aura, that stratagem costs 1 extra CP. So essentially, now if you're heavy infantry, your heavy intercessors are within 12 inches of the Swarm Lord, that is now increased by 1 CP instead of me saying, okay, that CP is increased by 1 for the rest of the game. I like that change. I actually like that. It's no longer, okay, well, I guess I can't use that stratagem anymore. It's now just, okay, this is increased by 3. This is increased by 1, so now command reroll is now cost 2 CP. Was there any other changes that, oh yeah, there was like apparently a thing with the grenades. Apparently now that you have to move and you now have to move and end your move within 8 inches to use grenades or something like that. So now it's no longer, okay, I'm going to start your movement phase. I'm going to use this unit to target that and then move out of the way. Basically, grenade over the shoulder aspect. You can't do that anymore. There is definitely a lot of stuff that I have missed, that I have glimpsed over past. That's understandable. I will be putting this into my own little video. This is literally just a short summary of like some of the new stuff that's happening, some of this other stuff. There's a lot of stuff I missed, a lot of stuff I didn't go over. I pretty much only went over to the Tyranids. I do apologize because that's my main faction, and now I'm starting to get into. I have dabbled into Ultramarines, though their stuff I'm still kind of working on. I'm dabbling in them, and now I'm starting to heavily dip into not just a finger or 2 fingers. I'm going fist into the that's a weird phrasing, but go with it as you will. The Sisters of Battle's army faction. So, and they are they are an army that I will be paying attention to a lot. So yeah. But I hope this was entertaining for y'all, because I will probably be reading up a lot more on this stuff more as time goes on, so that way I can kind of get an understanding of how things go. So yeah. Let's hope things go well, and I hope this was just enough to push the Tyranids past the 50% win rate, or at least to the 50% win rate, and see how things go. Other than that, I hope this little talk was entertaining y'all. Hope you enjoyed. I'm really happy. Slightly sad for the Adeptus Sororitas points increase, but yet it's understandable because they're a powerhouse. A lot of buffs to everything, and a few nerfs to some things that I feel like they shouldn't have gotten the points increased, like the Battle Sisters. Especially since they no longer just automatically give you a miracle dice. It's now a random effect, and they has to be part of the unit that's actually, because apparently you can split them with the emulator, and now it has to be the sisters with the now it has to be the sisters with the thing, wherever it is, Simulacrum Imperius. It has to be the part of the sisters with this that be able to give you that, and it's a random effect. Like, maybe you'll get it. So there's all that. I'm done talking about this because I want to get into gaming. I hope you enjoyed. This was probably roughly like maybe 30 minutes. We'll see. We'll see. I'll see that and see how things go. But hopefully you enjoyed. Why do I have two things up? Oh god. Hold on. I need to fix this. Oop. There we go. I don't know why I had two of those up. So, wow, apparently throughout the entire video, I had two things up. Two notification things up. Good thing I didn't have any notifications go off this entire time, or else, as sad as that sounds. Hey, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you all for more Warhammer stuff, because we definitely got a lot more to go. I am building a bunch of sister models here, hopefully next week when I get my stuff, and then we're just going to start building until I'm done building. I'm at least going to build a 1K point army. Hopefully, shouldn't take too long. With what I got, I will be pretty close. I'll probably get like one or two more models, depending on how things go. And see how that happens. So thank y'all for watching that. Hope you enjoyed. And I will see y'all next time for any more updates. Bye y'all.